Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Tilson Live, or is it Tilson Tuesday? What are we calling it this week?
It's Tilson Live, yeah.
It's Tilson Live. It is because we are, in fact, live. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube, and we are here to answer any and all of your questions, build on your lot related. I'm Eric Allard, Senior Vice President of Tilson Homes, part of the fourth generation of the Tilson family, joined once again, as I am every single week, thank the Lord, by Mrs. Dawn Dantzler, our Director of Marketing. Hello, Dawn.
Hi, everybody.
All right. So what are we doing today? We have a special day today.
Today is really the day that you guys get to determine what we're going to talk about. It is Ask Us Anything. So just let us know what questions you have about building on your land. As you're coming in, tell us where you're thinking about building, where your property is. Are you already building? Like, where are you in the phase of construction? Where are you in the process of planning your dream home? Just come on in and say hey.
That's right, folks. So we will be monitoring the chat this entire time, as we always do. So go ahead and drop in where you're watching from, where you're building, where you're thinking about building, maybe where you are in the process. I know we got folks watching from not all over Texas, all over the United States. Mm-hmm. We even sometimes we go global.
Sometimes we do, yes.
So yeah, feel free to drop in again. Any questions you have about building on your land, any questions you have about financing a home under construction, anything you want to know about design modifications, anything, all the stuff that goes into it. Maybe you haven't chosen the builder yet and you have questions about that. Maybe you have questions about inspections. Maybe you have questions about septic design. Maybe you have questions about water wells and site evaluations and geotechnical investigations. And otherwise, you're going to have to just listen to me go through the whole process. So where we got folks, anybody joining us yet, Don? Hello.
We've got Don coming in. He's got spray foam today, getting the roof tomorrow, and his Maybach rice paddy. Glad to see you're moving along.
I love it.
We've got Polly coming in from Grapeland, Texas, and Fredericksburg, building the Breckenridge.
Awesome. Welcome, Polly.
Tanya's checking in, saying hello.
Hi.
We got Jessie coming in Williamson County, building in Gillespie, currently clearing the land. Bye-bye cedar trees.
Amen. Really? Bye-bye cedar. Get rid of all of it.
All of it.
Sometimes you hear them called junipers or cedars, but yeah, get them out of there before they start puffing pollen and making your eyes go crazy.
I know. We got Sarah coming in from Goliad, building the LaPorte. Plumbing going in today. Can't wait to see drywall.
Very cool. Awesome. Thanks for watching, Sarah. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. Diane's coming in from Grayson County. Foundation pour last week, framing next week. Awesome.
Nice. All right. Thanks,
Diane. Kristen, East Bernard, building a canyon. Stonework going up today. Oh, how exciting.
That is an amazing craft to watch. Those guys, they quite literally hew stones out of, they're artists. They're artisans. They look at a piece of rock and they go grab one and they look where it ought to go, cut it with a hammer, and then boom, in it goes. It's pretty incredible to watch. Actually mesmerizing. Maybe just to building nerds like me, but it's pretty mesmerizing.
No, it's very cool to watch. Theo is coming in. Howdy from Benchley and Aggie Land, building in Robertson County. The Palo Duro. Oh, awesome. Signing the contract and mechanic liens Friday.
Awesome, nice. Theo. All right. I know we've been talking for a while. Thanks for hanging in there with us and watching.
Yeah, I'm glad. I guess it took us launching a new plan for Theo to find the one you liked. So. That one's not even officially live. You just sneak previewed that from the design center. So that's pretty cool.
Funny.
Tanya is coming in from Huntsville. We've got Chris on behalf of the Roush family, building near Cameron.
Cameron, all right, Milam County.
We got Ted coming in from Cook County, been in construction for 68 days, hoping to have a foundation eventually.
Boy, yeah, hang in there, Ted,
Yeah.
with us. We know that it's a long time coming, and that's one of the things we'd be glad to talk about is labor. It is a struggle, and yes, the supplies have kind of normalized. Although I read an article this week that there are still, I think, 44 ships waiting offshore in Port of Long Beach. Like, just the supply chain has not worked out its kinks yet, and the labor is even tougher. There aren't any more foundation contractors. There aren't any more framers. If you are a foundation contractor or are a framer, we are hiring. We would love to visit with you, see what your bandwidth is, what your expertise is. But yeah, folks, we are looking for good people. We won't just take anybody, which is part of the issue too. Yes, we have turned away foundation contractors, and we have turned away some framers. We don't like having to be picky, but we have to be picky for our customers' sake. That's just part of it.
Absolutely. All right. We've got Nancy ready for our pre-construction to start. Como County, Fayetteville.
Awesome. Thanks, Nancy.
Linda's still waiting in Fredericksburg.
Linda.
We'll get there.
Lisa waiting area in the country.
Yes.
That little west of 100%. I-35. Austin, San Antonio, and to the west. So all of obviously you're in Gillespie County, but Hayes County, Bexar County, Travis County, Williamson County. Those have been Comal County, the hottest area in the country, not just in Texas, in the United States. So yeah, it's an interesting problem. But it is a challenge for sure. I mean, we're all competing for a finite amount of labor and materials. The materials, thankfully, we can get them. Labor, we can't just go buy labor. Yeah, hang in there, Linda. Thanks for your patience.
All right, we've got Lisa waiting on final foundation engineering. She's building the Granbury in Medina.
Cool. Medina's another one. That's another hot kit. Very hot.
Yes,
area.
Very hot. And we've got a question coming in from YouTube. What is the cost per foot for water and electric trenching after the 50 feet that is provided? Building in Waller County.
Yep, it is still going to vary if you're going to be doing electrical versus copper on the underground for the wiring. Copper is really, really expensive right now, and I know some people have this very strange. There's an aversion to aluminum, but that really has more to do with interior wiring, which is not somewhere we use it. When we say aluminum wire, we're talking about large gauge, like the size of my thumb wire, for the surface of a home, which it's tightened down with like a ratcheting wrench. So one of the issues with aluminum is that it could arc because it'll shrink and swell more than copper, but it won't do that when you ratchet down on it with a torque wrench, with a ratcheting wrench. So not something you need to worry about, but it's on the water, you're looking probably between $6 and $8 a lineal foot for your water line. And then on the electrical, it's going to vary quite a bit. I would budget somewhere between $25 and $75 a lineal foot, depending on the depth of the trench, the size of the conduit, and the size wire that the co-op is going to require. Because even in Waller County, you got the San Bernard Electric Co-op, you've got Centerpoint, you've got a couple of different power companies that are around there, and they have different requirements for the depth of the trench, the diameter of the conduit itself, and the gauge of the wire. So I know that's kind of a wide range, but get with your design consultant, your sales consultant, and they can give you a more exact price based on the power company that you're going to be using.
Okay, perfect. All right, we've got James. He is building in Marble Falls and had his stakeout done. He's putting in his gravel road this week and looking for his next steps.
All right, James. Well, yeah, your stakeout, your land preparation specialist and or your sales consultant will be able to give you those exact next steps, but you're well on your way. The next thing would be, if it's already cleared, then we're going to order the soil test once that drive is in. So definitely, shoot us a couple of pictures of that driveway once it's in, send them to your stakeout person and to your sales consultant, and we'll immediately order that geotechnical investigation. They'll send the soil testing rig out there and get that taken care of. And then I don't know where you are in the plan signing stage. That's probably the next thing to happen. Your plans will get completed to come sign those plans, and then we'll order the foundation design once you sign those plans and we have the geotech. So those are the next steps.
Okay. Perfect.
And any applications to the power company, water company, all of those, that would be next to power companies, especially. They're all running, shocker, they're running behind right now because labor. It takes the same people that are digging those trenches and pulling that electrical wire and all of that. They're all that finite pool of people. Have I mentioned labor, Don? Did I mention labor?
Labor, yes. Okay. I think we've said that a couple times.
Okay, I'll stop.
But it's very true. Like it needs to be said. It's everywhere. I mean, it's even the restaurants you go to everywhere is experiencing trouble. So, All right. Jessie is asking, are there various shower head options? She didn't pay attention while visiting the models. Yes, we have several that you can choose from, and in style. So just like the actual look and the color, there's different metal finishes that you can do. And then, we have all the fancy stuff too. So we've got the rain head showers and, all of that stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of shower head options. If you reach out to your design consultant, they can send you those options to take a look at. And let's see. Faith is building in Blue Ridge. Hey, Faith.
Collin County. Awesome.
And Frank is asking, if we build in a neighborhood that has a POA, do you work with the neighborhood architecture committee about any restrictions or compliance on designs?
Frank, we do. Great question. And yeah, we're seeing that more and more these days, which is great. So the deed restrictions are there for a reason. They're there to protect your property value, right? So no mobile homes, certain square foot minimums, some degree of homogeneous looking homes in the neighborhood, even though custom. But yeah, so sometimes they're done directly by a board that's there, the POA, or the actual neighborhood architectural control committee, or here referred to as an ACC. And sometimes it's outsourced to a property management company, and it's done through them. Those are sometimes a little bit more challenging because they don't actually live in the neighborhood. They're like a complete third party. Maybe sometimes not even in the same town. So that can be a bit of a challenge, but we do. Now, we oftentimes will need a little bit of your help. You oftentimes have to sign the application, obviously give us the name of the contact number, information, anything you have on the property owner association or the actual architecture control committee, give us that information. We're going to follow the restrictions, but sometimes it is up to their interpretation. And they tend to take liberties, we've found. So they may deny something that is actually by definition inside the guidelines, but they just maybe they don't agree with it, or they don't like it, or whatever.
Sometimes there's written rules and sometimes there's unwritten rules.
Yeah, we find that, Frank. It's very strange, but it doesn't happen often, but it does happen. And in those cases, it is nice to have the landowner like you have to live with these people, and conversely, they have to live with you. So it's easy sometimes to say no or do this or do that to the builder, where maybe it's not as easy to have that confrontational conversation with their neighbor. So something to consider there. But yeah, and compliance, that actually is something that you join us in the agreement. You are responsible for the compliance as well, as far as provided the right restrictions and the right, hey, this is the POA, this is the people to process through. And I know that sounds like a weird thing to even say, but we have had customers that give us what they believed was their POA or ACC information that actually was not.
Or think they don't have one and find out they do.
That has also happened. Great point. So get us any information that you have. Obviously, restrictions are typically recorded. They have to be, in fact. So the title company is also going to pick those up when they open title on the property, which we request that they do. So those restrictions will pop up. We'll get a copy of those. An interesting thing, Frank, is we'll find out, we'll say, hey, these are the restrictions. And we'll have a customer say, well, no one's out there doing it. Like, the people are doing their own thing. So but if there's restrictions that are recorded, that's good. That's a bridge we are going to have to cross at some point. So,
okay.
Great
Makes
question.
Sense.
It is part of the process, and we're fluent in that.
Yes. Melissa's coming in from Arlington, Texas. She's building in Stephenville. Just got their foundation. All right. That's awesome.
Congratulations.
We've got Joe still watching from humid LaPorte and still hoping to get that Shiloh built in Poolville. Awesome.
It is a hot, humid one down in the Houston area right now, Joe. I know.
Will coming in from Grapeland. We're making progress on our plan. My wife knows how to use a hammer and a saw. Hire her.
Come on, be careful.
Come on, let's go.
Careful, Will. We'll put her to work.
So we have another Will saying hi from Klondike.
Hey, yeah, we featured his house.
We've got Renee coming in from Salado. Just checked out the Georgetown Center. Can't wait to move forward. Awesome. Thanks so much, Renee.
Yeah, and thanks for hanging there with us. We are just about done with our remodel. I know that they were going to walk it yesterday, I believe, yesterday or today.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so Richard's doing the walkthrough of it to get the final punch list stuff done. We even have to do our own walkthroughs sometimes, guys. We have our own punch lists and stuff we want done and fixed and all that. So.
Yeah, so for those of you who haven't been to Georgetown lately, we are completely renovating their sales office there. So our whole sales team has moved into one of the models. They're in the San Gabriel. So that one's serving as office space / model. Our whole color room is now in the Driftwood garage. So it's a little bit hectic over at that design center.
We're simply showing how versatile our floor plans are. Okay, that's San Gabriel. Absolutely one of the most versatile floor plans in the portfolio.
That master bedroom makes a great office. It's wonderful. Danielle is living in style over there. But it's good to hear they're going to have it back soon. That's awesome.
Yeah, very soon. Very soon. We're excited.
All right. We've got Annie asking, what is the average waiting period from signing a contract to having your land survey?
Okay, so Annie, I'm going to go out on a limb and make a little assumption here, in that we're talking about our site evaluation, our what we call our stakeout appointment with our land preparation specialist. Average right now is going to be, depending on the area, between 3 to 6 weeks. Now we've in the hill country type area, Central Texas, that area, it's a little bit longer. It's more closer to that 4 to 6 week period, versus in the Gulf Coast area, maybe even North Texas, is closer to that 3 week period. A lot of that will depend on making sure we have all the right documentation. So there's a few things we absolutely have to have that site evaluation, that land preparation appointment. Obviously, a plan, a well-dimensioned, clean work copy of plan that's not being changed up. So we got to have our changes done. She said yes. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Good guess. Good guess. Bit of that Aggie intuition. We also need, obviously, some type of a survey or really, really solid plat drawing of the land itself. So she's in Hays County, so it's going to be a little
she's
longer.
in Hays.
Yep. Only the number one county in the state, in the United States. No big deal. No
yeah.
Big deal. Congratulations, by the way. So we need a plan that's well dimensioned, which that's the salesperson's responsibility. We need that survey, which is typically the homeowner's responsibility, unless we're getting it done for you. And then ideally the area is cleared, at least underbrushed where you're wanting the home to be, because we do have to be able to maneuver through there and find the corner pins, the corners of the property, and obviously help you. If you can't see through the trees, there's nothing magical that we have or can see through either. They are supermen, but they're not Superman. They don't have X-ray vision. So then have the area, at least mowed down, probably ankle high. That would be ideal. But that's really it. And then, we'll call and of course schedule that. And again, they may schedule it 3-4 weeks out. So bear with us out there. It's awesome. Good deal. Hays County is great.
Awesome. All right. We have Wendy asking, when giving a ballpark estimate of build cost in a community such as Republic Grand Ranch, do you include other known costs such as driveway, landscape, and irrigation?
Well, that is a loaded question.
It is.
Wendy, we can do you one better. And in Republic Grand Ranch and Texas Grand Ranch, actually everywhere we build, particularly those two, we will give you the price. So we have pricing specifically for those two communities that includes driveway, landscaping, irrigation, clearing, septic. I mean, all of it is included. It's complete, true turnkey, culvert, all of it. I would not recommend getting a ballpark estimate on those. I would recommend calling our office in Texas Grand Ranch, which is also obviously in Republic Grand Ranch, obviously the Spring location, any of those, and they will say, I'm building in Republic Grand Ranch. Eric said, give me the price for Republic Grand Ranch. And we have that. Those numbers are in there. And it includes the clearing, it includes the culvert, it includes the septic, it includes landscaping, irrigation, driveway, a certain amount of square footage for driveway, all and construction drive. It's all in turnkey. So great question.
Yep. All right. We have a question about at what point are you technically under construction to avoid any additional cost increase?
All right. So we have this part of our process. This is going to get pretty granular. Yeah. All right. Well,
it's all right.
It's a great question. Yeah, no, and I'm glad you asked. It's basically when the customer has fulfilled their responsibilities, as far as the house is permitted, you have the financing lined up in order, we have a commitment letter, the appraisal is complete, fully underwritten loan commitment, full approval from the subdivision, the architecture control committee, POA, if there is one. And then we have a process that's known as release to estimating or even release to construction. So even if we release the house to construction, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going straight into form setting the next day. It goes into a queue waiting for foundation contractor, framing contractor, that stuff to get lined up. So at that point, your price is locked in. I know some of you on here, maybe if you've heard from him, you can post it in the comments, but I know Justin Ordino, even our senior vice president of construction, or Pat Mayo, our vice president of sales, have been calling customers as they get to that stage in some cases and say, hey, just letting you know, you're good to go. Your price is locked in. It does not mean if you don't hear from us, your price is not locked in, but just because we can't technically start on it because we're waiting on a foundation contractor, that's not going to be something we turn around and go back to you for pricing on it under any circumstances. No. So you fulfill your the owner's response, and they're spelled out. It's not a figment of our imagination. There's owner's responsibilities spelled out in the agreement. We go through them with every customer. Those get fulfilled in the timeline provided. Your price is locked in. So that's a great question. But yeah, that's a big deal. If you have any questions about it at all, specifically your deal, call your sales consultant, and they can tell you.
Yep, absolutely. Awesome. All right. Shannon is asking, when you get pre-approval from the lender for a mortgage, does that amount that you get approved for include what is still owed on the land, or is it going to be in addition to?
Great question, Shannon. So we, on the agreement, we have two lines. One is the total contract amount, and one is the total loan amount. Now, for those of you paying cash, take a little 3-minute nap, just a 3-minute, go refill your coffee or your root beer,
go get some water.
Yep. Or sit here and learn, whatever. So there'll be the total contract amount, which is the amount of the home and everything that we're doing for you. So anything you've asked us to include in that contract amount is going to be in there. And then there's the total loan amount. The only two times those will be different is if you do, in fact, still owe money on the property. So the loan amount that we go request, the mortgage, the pre-approval, that will need to be for the contract amount of the home plus anything that you still owe on the land. So your mortgage amount, your final mortgage, your pre-approval will need to be for the contract amount of the home plus any balance owed on the property. Now, we also understand that you will keep making payments between now and when the home is completed. So you still make those payments on your land just like you have been. You're not making any payments to Tilson. There's no interest accruing. You just keep making that land payment like you were. So we understand that land balance will be slightly less, when we're done with this thing than it is today. And the mortgage company understands that as well. So if it's a couple of $1,000s less than what you actually owe, that's not a big deal. But typically what I tell people is, hey, if you still owe $30,000 or $40,000 or $50,000 on it, just include that. And when you talk to your lender about getting pre-approved, include that land balance in there, because the mortgage lender, they're going to, at closing, when the home is finished, they're going to pay off two parties. They're going to pay off Tilson for the contract amount of the home once we're finished with the home and you've signed off and done their paperwork. And then they're going to also pay off whoever your lender is on the property. And then they're going to consolidate that into one primary mortgage. They're not the mortgage lender for your permanent mortgage is not going to want to be in second lien position to whoever the lien holder is on the land. You see, in Texas, lien position is based on the date that it was recorded, not the dollar.
Oh, okay.
So you can have a $30,000 land lien and a $300,000 lien from a mortgage lender. If the land lien was before, it gets precedent. So that's why that your mortgage lender is going to want to pay that off, be sure they're paid off and out of the way so that they are in first lien position.
Okay, that makes
Hopefully
sense.
that makes sense.
All right. All right. LaWanda's saying they have their stakeout in Bell County on Friday. Awesome.
Okay.
That's great. Jabo has got his construction drive completed and ready for soil testing.
Awesome, Jabo. That's great.
Awesome. And LaWanda is building the Angelina C.
Beautiful house.
We've got Roger waiting on the slab engineering report.
All right.
Awesome. And then LaWanda is asking how long from stakeout until construction begins.
Yeah, it's easy to get excited, LaWanda. It's still several months because after the stakeout is completed, the site evaluation is done. Depending on the outcome of that, we may have to, if the site needs to be cleared or different things like that. Access drive, I don't know how good access is, but we need to be able to get that geotechnical investigation, that soil testing truck rig in there. So that's the next thing that happens is we order, if we can, if the site's clear and we have good access, we will immediately order the geotechnical investigation. That has to be completed. Your plans have to be completed and signed so that we can then do the engineered foundation design, which you see some of the people posting in comments. That's what they're waiting on. And then while that's happening, we're getting that final lender approval. We're typically doing probably a septic design for the county. We have to get a septic permit and development or building permit. Sometimes they call it a floodplain permit. I can't remember what Bell County calls it, but there's definitely a septic permit and a development or building permit. Those have to be done, and they're contingent upon the stakeout, of course. And then we get the engineering back, and then once we get all that, then we can start. So it's at least 2 months, and in some cases longer than that, maybe sometimes 4 months, depending on if there's any changes made or the results of the site evaluation itself. So,
okay, great. All right. Brandon is asking, is it possible to use land equity to get rid of PMI on mortgage instead of putting 20% down?
It is, Brandon. So what will happen is the equity you have in your property will be determined based on the appraisal. So your lender, whoever your lender is going to order an as-built appraisal up front based on our plans. So that we give our plans to the lender, and that lender orders an appraisal just exactly as it like on a resale. If that house was built today, they're going to get comps from the area. They're going to pull them from the MLS, pull closings, which is a very good thing right now. Depending on where you are, prices are probably high. And they're going to get comps or comparable sales in that area. Now, obviously, the more rural you are, the tougher those comps are, right? Because they're further away. And they will, based on the values of the surrounding homes that have sold, not for sale, have actually closed and are entered into the MLS, that will drive what the appraised value is. So theoretically, your land is probably worth more than you paid for it if you bought it anything more than a year or two ago.
Right.
A year or two ago is probably worth more than what you paid for it. So your land has gone up in value. So as long as the total loan amount that you're borrowing, so the amount for the home, is 80% or less of the total appraised value, then you will have that 20% down, that 20% equity position, even without writing a check. Let's say that you're at like 18%. Let's say that it's 82% loan to value, that your loan is 82% of the appraised value. You could always write a check for the difference, a down payment, if you will, of that other 2% to get past that 20% down payment. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It makes sense to me. Brandon, let us know if it doesn't make sense.
Let's hope that helps you out, Brandon. Yeah. The short answer is yes, it is possible.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. All right. We have Aubrey coming in. I love that name. That's my daughter's name. Building Gonzales C in Como County. They started framing today. So exciting. Yes, that's awesome. We've been patiently waiting. About how long from here?
Okay, Aubrey. Well, right now I would 250 to 270 days of construction. Now you're well into construction, so you're into that time frame already, because that includes like form setting, getting dirt in the forms, getting the plumbing in the forms, getting the cables in, getting it wrapped in the poly and digging the beams and placing the concrete and framing. So you're already into that, but I'd figure somewhere in the 9-month of construction time frame in Comal County, because again, that I-35 corridor. The whole world wants to move there.
Yes.
And it kind of blew everybody's doors wide open, including resale market. I mean, everybody knows if you're trying to move out there, it was a bidding war for everything. Still a bidding war for everything out there, because as soon as people found out they could work from home, it's weird. No one and look, born and raised in the Houston area, love my Astros, love my Oilers. That's right, I just dated myself. The Houston Oilers. Love the Rockets. Love the 2 years Michael Jordan didn't play, and we actually got to win world championships. Thank you, Michael. Shout out. Me and Michael are so tight. But not a lot of people are going, oh man, I'm so glad I can retire now and I can move to the mosquito humid place called Houston. Okay, I get it. We are who we are. Everybody wants to move to the hill country, and that's part of what we're experiencing as well, Aubrey, is that once people figure out they could work from home or live for wherever, bunch of people, leaving the greater Houston area, leaving the Dallas-Fort Worth area, moving to the hill country, leaving California, leaving Illinois, leaving New York, leaving Florida, like coming to the hill country. And so that's where the biggest strain on labor has been. There's a lot of demand there, not just from us and our customers, but all builders, everybody wants to move to the Texas Hill Country.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, bear with us.
Eight,
9 months is probably realistic. But again, you're in that time frame already because that includes foundation. So
yeah, and that's the thing. If you reach out to your builder, they can give you probably a closer. Once they get to drywall, they can really kind of narrow that time frame down for you and let you know where you stand. All right. Jessie is asking, what days would you recommend for us to take off to go out and see certain processes? We'll definitely be there for stakeout, soil test, and foundation pour.
Okay. Those are great. The soil test is going to be tough. And the only reason I say that is because they don't necessarily even technically notify us when they're going. Because what they'll do is they'll schedule, 6 or 8 in one day with the drilling rig they've got, which is why the access is so important, because they send the person out to investigate that first. And if they don't have good access, they will not go, because they can't take a chance on a truck getting stuck.
Right.
And push those other 5 they have that day out. So that one, we don't get a guaranteed date of exactly when they're going on the soil test, but obviously stakeout, you'll be there for that. Foundation pour, of course, we tell you that. And then there'll be other walks that your superintendent wants to schedule with you. But and that's typically there'll be a pre-construction meeting that'll be scheduled, but you're welcome to go anytime. I mean, it's your land. We don't limit, and I know it blows my mind to even have to talk about this, but I've heard that the builders that won't let the customers out at the site, which is mind-boggling to me. But anyway,
yeah, I mean it happens. And then there's other builders that as soon as there's a lock, they'll lock you out of the house. We actually give you the key so that when we lock your house, you can still get in. You're not the people we're trying to keep out when we lock the house.
But other than that, I mean, it's kind of it's kind of up to you what you consider exciting. I mean, seeing the walls go up, maybe when the first or second day they start framing, that's kind of cool. After like day 6, it gets a little monotonous and hot. But I think those, some of the different phases, maybe when they're running the electrical wire, some people like to see that. Like I'm a nerd. Like I like to watch them. I like to watch them put stone up. I don't know if I want to do it for 4 days straight, but I like to watch them do that.
Well, and that's the thing. Really, the foundation is the only part that it's going to happen that day. And if you weren't there that day, you missed it. The rest of the things, they tend to take a little bit longer. They're going to be framing for multiple days. They're going to be putting stone up for multiple days, usually. So it's really, foundation's the only one that I would say, hey, absolutely, you need to take that day. The rest of it, I feel like you could probably just check in on. Cabinets, if you want to watch them be installed, that might be a one day. But everything else, I think you can kind of catch it as it goes.
If you're going out there the day they're painting, be careful.
Yeah, don't recommend that you be there that day. That day's messy.
Yep, be careful. The day they're finishing drywall, spraying texture, probably not a good day to be there.
Yeah. Nope.
But cool question though, Jess. Let us know. You guys, if you want to drop in the comments, those that have built and different things you saw going on. Answer Jessie's question.
Yeah. What would you guys say? Like when should she be there? What should she not miss? Love that. All right. Karen, what if I currently have a home on my land, but I want to demolish and build something new? Or would it be better to make modifications and add-ons as we need bigger closet, master bedroom, master bathroom, pantry, and kitchen?
Well, I mean, if you're asking, I'm a little biased, but obviously I believe everyone should build a new home. No one wants to live in the old home. Remodeling is a nightmare. Remodeling really is a nightmare.
It is.
Which is why we don't do it. We are good at building new homes. We are not good at remodeling. We've tried it. It's not for us. So yeah, demolishing, that's how it works. I mean, particularly if it's exactly where you want your new home to be, and we have customers that do it pretty frequently, particularly on infill lots in the city. We'll go in and help them line them up with a demolition contractor. And there's typically permits that have to be pulled. You have to do some utility disconnects for safety. Obviously, get the electrical and water and gas and sewer and all that disconnected properly. And then you demolish the house. That's typically a 1-day project. Like about something you want to be there, within 6 to 8 hours, it's scraped, clean piece of dirt.
Wow.
Which is kind of hair raising, given how long I know it takes to build a house right now.
Yeah, it's a little depressing that you can undo that much work in so little time. But
you can. So anyway, that's how that works. And then we go through the process of a new building. Now, caveat to that, I would not go forward with the demolition until you get a permit for new construction. So you don't want to go through with all that unless you know for sure you can get designed for your budget exactly what you want, which is what we can help you with, and be sure we can get a building permit for that in that particular. The odds of that happening the odds of that not happening are pretty low, but it has happened where people have gone in and demolished or removed a mobile home or an existing home, only to find out that particular structure was grandfathered in some way, do a floodplain thing or something, and now they can't build the house they thought they were going to be able to build. So there is a process that these, if it's out in the county or something like that, it's probably not much to worry about. But inside of a city, we definitely want to go through the process, through the city's steps, through their ordinances, and do it properly so that you don't demolish something only to find out you can't build what you thought you wanted to build. So that's my advice there.
Yeah, good tip. All right. We've got a question from YouTube. How would satellite cable vendor connect to house wiring? I think I heard in another video that all cable goes to a cluster in the attic and not patched on a panel.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be patched on a panel for your cable or satellite vendor to be able to connect to it. We can do that. We can do it to a panel if you prefer. We do offer those. We have two different sizes. I think we have a 8-port and 16-port, or 16-port and 24-port, something like that. That's my brother's bailiwick. He's the connectivity guy. But all that to say, otherwise, the RG6 cabling that we run is terminated in the attic because that's typically where they're going to want to come in. Sometimes they want to come in the brick on the side. I don't like them drilling in my brick. I'd like them to come in through the hardy, through the soffit. Me personally, but I just like the way it looks. It's a little cleaner. And if it's satellite, which is what most of our customers would be where they're building, because they're not going to have cable out in the rural area, then that satellite dish is going to be mounted. They don't typically mount them on the roof anymore, but they mount them on the side of the house, or at least in the eave, where if it leaked, it would not cause harm to the actual structure. And that's where they prefer that the cable be terminated. So that's they hop up in the attic, they find the one, they tone it down to the different areas, and they connect and go. And they usually have their little power modules up there, and there's power up there. We have a 110 outlet up there, usually a couple of them, actually. One for sure. We have to have a light, or at least one light up there for attic, and we have to have the 110 outlet. There's AC is plugged in up there. We have people plug their alarm panels in up there, stuff that's hard for a bad guy to get to and disconnect. So yeah. All
right. Awesome. Lisa wants to know more about your brother. So you guys actually, there is a video with Chris. If you find, because Chris also handles all of our pricing and doing all the the whiz figuring all that stuff out that we don't want to mess with. So you guys have met him. So his name is Chris Allard. We can see if we can get him back for a tech discussion live. That would be kind of funny.
Well, he'll have to if y'all tell him. If you tell him we demand to see Chris, then we'll parade him out there. But yeah, I do have an older brother. He works with us. I actually have a younger brother as well. So yeah, I'm a middle child. I don't know if that's obvious to anyone, but it's anyway. Yeah, so it is truly family owned and operated, and that's what's going on. But yeah, Chris is very, very bright when it comes to all of that kind of stuff. Well, he's bright in general, I guess, but specifically when it comes to connectivity, he's
pretty smart guy.
Yeah, his life prior to Tilson was spent in the IP telephony world, and so yeah, he's forgotten more about connectivity than I'll ever know. So,
yeah. All right, guys, that is all the questions I see.
Yeah. So what else is going on out there? We've got some. Let's see, you've made some updates to the website. I know that. We've got some custom options out there. We're coming along on making some progress in the city of San Marcos on our Paladuro model, the new model home that we're building at our San Marcos location. So we're very excited about that. We are making good progress on our location in Waco, Texas.
Yes.
So I think the slab for the parking lot's going in today or tomorrow. That's happening. So weather makes a difference. It sounds like we're able to make
for sure. That's awesome. Yeah, we understand everybody struggles with the weather. We're excited to get Waco up, and the model that's coming in San Marcos. We should have that plan ready and on the website later this week, so everybody can take a look at what we're building there and the options that are available. All right, we've got a question coming in from Jabo. Typically, how high off the floor does a microwave sit when placed above the dual oven setup?
Okay, so I'm going to guess here, Jabo. But we did this in my younger brother's house. We built it. He has a double oven. So there's usually a drawer at the bottom, like a single drawer for cookie sheets. And then double oven, and then the microwave was above that. So I'm going to say I'm 6'3", so like, and I was looking like kind of up at it. So it's probably the bottom of the microwave is going to be pretty close to 6 foot to 6'5", somewhere in there off of the floor when you do that, because you got the toe kick. So the cabinet sits about that high off of the floor itself, then a drawer, then a double oven, and then the microwave. So somewhere between 6 and 7 feet is how high it is.
Pretty tall.
Pretty tall.
All right. Let's see. JR is asking, any place to see actual floor plans and prices for builds? Yes, you can see those on our website. So on our website, we have all of our floor plans that we have available, as well as base pricing for the unincorporated areas of the counties where we serve. So all you need to do is go onto the site, and when you get into the plan search, just pick your county, and that'll populate in the starting prices for all of our homes. All right. Sarah is saying she is building in Williamson County. How far out is the build process right now? They just had the build site staked.
Okay, so Williamson County, total time frame from the time that you do the initial deposit of $1,500 to the time that it's completely finished, I would figure around 14 months. That's what it's going to be right now in Williamson County. And that just has to do, again, hot area. So for those who don't know, Williamson County is the county just north of Travis County, where Austin is. So
right.
Austin, and you got like Pflugerville, Round Rock, that area. And then, of course, Georgetown is Williamson County. And obviously there's other towns around there, but that's the main one, the county seat. And that's a very, very high demand area. So yeah, I would allow around 14 months total time. Now, construction, that's not, you're looking about 9 months of actual construction, but total time is what I'm talking about.
Okay. All right. Tanya's saying, quick question about land. If I have 5 acres and want to build on 2, do you provide the land survey area that is for me to address?
Okay, so it's going to be, so we don't include that in the base price, if that's what you're asking. Our base price does not include that's referred to as a survey out. So you've got a 5-acre tract, and out of that 5-acre tract, she only wants to carve out 2 as that she's building on as collateralized.
Okay.
So you would need to go to a registered professional land surveyor, RPLS, a land surveying company, and have that done. We can do that as part of the agreement. Now, before that's done, we definitely, you and or the surveyor, we certainly would, if we're doing it, we're going to check with the county in which you're building and make sure that they're not going to require that it be replatted. Technically on the books in the state of Texas, anytime you subdivide anything less than 10 acres is supposed to be replatted. There are very few counties that actually enforce that.
Okay.
Almost none of the rural counties do whatsoever, but most of your bigger, more populated, so your Harris County, Travis County, Bexar County, those that they tend to be more inclined to adhere to that. So what I'm saying is, don't just have any willy-nilly surveyor go out there and do that. I would recommend using someone from the area who's familiar with that county's requirements, and make sure that you don't do something only to find out we go get our permit. They say, well, this wasn't properly platted. You have to replat it before we'll permit it.
Okay.
So just make sure it's the same process, Tanya. It's still a survey out, but they'll call it a plat or a replat. Just make sure that we don't put the cart before the horse, so to speak, and make the county irritated with us. We don't want to do that.
No, they're slow enough. We don't need to make them mad.
Right. Exactly right.
Let's see. Jessie's saying her husband's going to be very annoyed that she's asking, but do we want to go do a wild hog hunt on her property?
I'm always up for dispatching the invasive hogs for sure. And I'd love to come do that. I have my own issues with hogs at the places I try to manage and maintain. So yeah, it's a problem. They don't seem to be inhibited by the heat whatsoever. It doesn't seem to bother them.
They don't seem bothered by much. They
don't. No, in fact, I had one of those mineral blocks, those deer mineral blocks they eat, and it's sweet and molasses smelling, and hogs kept pushing it around all over. And they're clever. They push it out of range of my game cam. Like, they know where the game cam's wide angle is, and they're like deliberately push that. So very redneck thing. Jesse, you can incline it. Here's what I did. I took my box blade off my tractor. I took it over there with the tractor, dropped it off, unhooked it from the back of the tractor, and I put the mineral block inside the box blade. Boom. They can't move a box blade. Can't be done. So that's me. This is me battling the hogs. Like, I'm trying to outsmart pigs. That's what's happening here. And I'm doing it with mechanical equipment.
Hey, you got to use tools.
What are you going to do?
That's what makes us superior. We use tools.
It's the roadrunner and the coyote. That's what's going on here. I'm not doing well. By the way, the hog lives. Like, they remain.
So did you really win?
I think so. The mineral's still there.
Jessie says it's genius.
Oh, and by the way, the next night on the game cam, it was a raccoon. So turns out they
can't win.
Inside the box blade.
You funny.
You still ask us anything. You did it.
It is, yeah. All right. Kimberly says, yay. She's going to be looking for the Polidoro on the website as soon as it's up. All right. We'll post when it's up. Okay. Wendy's asking, are there any plans for ad pricing for some of the upgrades on the site? So this is something that we've talked about. It's going to take us some work to put it up there, just because of the way that things get combined and the way it affects pricing. So we're going to have to go through and kind of figure out how to make the website accept that for every county, because that is something that's going to vary by county to county, because windstorm requirements are based on how much of your home is actually like enclosed. So we have to, when you start adding spaces, it starts impacting all of that. So it's something that we're thinking about and we're working on. I think I have a solution. So maybe next year.
Yeah. And it is. I mean, we want to be able to give you guys what you're asking for. So that's the point of some of these lives that we do is, tell us what would make it, a better process for you, a more, how do I say, almost give you more control over what you can see. But in doing so, it's like the more flexible we get and the more upgrades we offer, the harder it makes it, obviously. So, it's a bit paradoxical.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, I want, like, if we're going to give you information, I need to make sure that it's right, because I don't want to give you guys bad information. So it's just kind of figuring out, it's easy for human, to tell a human, there's these exceptions and do this and do this and do this, but how do how do we accomplish that on our website is what we're kind of noodling. So
we just do a chat bot, right? We just text chat.
Just AI, it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, artificial intelligence, everything. Yeah.
All right. Chris is asking, is there some way to see detached garage plans and options?
Well, I mean, we certainly could have them in the sales offices. We have never really thought about putting it on, because typically our detached garages are really 2-car or 3-car, like 22 by 22 or 34 by 22-ish. We can do whatever size you want. But yeah, I guess, I mean, a way to see them, because it's going to be hardy plank, or it's going to be board and bat, or it's going to be brick or stone or stucco. So yeah, I don't know. We've never rendered them, have we? Like just a detached garage?
I don't think so. I guess we could. We could probably do a blog post with that. We could probably get them rendered and get the plans. I mean, it's a box.
Thank you, Chris. You gave Dawn something else to do.
Just when I
More
need
things
it.
on Dawn's to-do list. But maybe if that'd be helpful. We'd something we can look into doing.
Yeah, definitely. And Mari's asking, hey guys, how are the elevations for floor plans arranged from least to greatest, looking at Canyon or Cedar Creek in Montgomery County? So yeah, the price range that you're seeing is the lowest cost elevation to the highest cost elevation. Really, it varies a little bit by plan on exactly which elevation is the cheapest. But in most cases, it's going to be A is the least expensive, and then moving that way. The only exception to that is in some cases the C elevation will be less expensive if it doesn't have as big of a porch. So long answer short, it kind of varies. But we can kind of tell you, let me look, you're asking specifically on the Canyon or Cedar Creek. So I can pull that up for you and tell you on that one. But for the most part, the A is going to be the cheapest, but there are a few cases where a different one sneaks in on us.
Yeah, what you're looking at is the ones typically when you see they're adding a significant amount of porch, obviously that's going to be a higher price because you got more slab, more roof, more just flat out more material, more framing, more labor. So that's typically going to be your more expensive ones, or any ones that you see that have more covered porch on the front or the back. And it's typically on the front when you're talking about the various elevations.
Yeah. Okay. So on the Canyon, it is the A elevation. That is the least expensive. And let me look at the Cedar Creek.
Drum roll. Everybody drum roll. Yeah.
Cedar Creek is also the A.
Yeah. And on some rare occasions, the actual living area will vary, but that's typically only if you see like a bedroom jutting out or something like that on the front of the home. But for the most part, the living area is within 15 to 20 square feet of the same on all of the elevations. It's the covered porch that varies more than that.
Yep, exactly.
Awesome. Right. Well, is this a last call for questions?
Last call. Although we did promise everybody that we were going to ask them the question, that they kind of guessed what it was. But we were trying to figure out, like, if we had a Tilson merchandise store, would that be something that you guys? Eric's going to go get props. Would that be something that y'all would be interested in? If so, what types of things would you like to see on there? So drop that in the comments. Let us know, would you want hats? Would you want t-shirts? Would you want, tumblers? Like what are you?
So yeah, they've only been for Tilson employees to this point. We have got some tumblers that Dawn has put together for our employees. We've got pocket knives. I'm just kidding. We don't have pocket knives.
No.
We have. There's obviously some Tilson hat. If you've had your stakeout appointment or you get billed, you've probably seen a builder with a Tilson hat. You've got now this is limited edition right here, right? Because this is
that color they actually discontinued.
Yeah, makes me sad because it's such a great color.
I know. I love that one.
Very popular with the ladies. It was. But so we got a couple different ones here. I think Dawn's working on one for a 90th anniversary. Is that right?
Yes. Yes. Next year's our 90th birthday. So we're going to have all kinds of cool stuff.
So basically, if we were to do something like that, we would obviously, this is not where we're looking somewhere to make money. Okay, guys. So it's not about that. So I think it's important to mention anything we did like that, we would donate, to a worthy cause. We have Operation Finally Home that we support. We have Houston Homemade that we support that builds shelters for battered women. So there's things that we do, charities that we support. That's where any funds that were raised from these would go to that. This is not about another revenue stream for Tilson. We ain't looking to sell merch. We're looking to help people out. And if it's something that y'all would want to participate in some way, we'd love to do that. It'd be an honor. So I know. All right. The Tiffany blue. I'm telling you, we've got to figure out somebody's got to get the Tiffany blue.
I know. I'll try to figure. I know. I'll see if maybe they changed their mind and they got it back. I just know when we ordered it, we had to wait a long time for those. And yeah, they recently told me they discontinued that color. So we've got Chris saying yes, he wants the coffee cups, tumblers and t-shirts. Carolyn wants a blue hat. Carolyn, I will get you a blue hat. Peggy is suggesting some plant pots or options for a welcome sign for the new house. Outdoor porch drinkware might be fun too. Oh yeah, that would be fun. Lisa wants a doormat.
Okay.
That could be cool. Yeah.
I think everybody needs a doormat. Yeah.
Yes. Nydia says she loves her Tilson cup, goes everywhere with her. Oh, a tumbler in pink.
Oh, okay.
Some colors. Yeah. That could be fun.
Okay.
Another bit.
So it sounds like, what about, we had an idea, what about the trailer hitch covers?
Yeah, somebody mentioned a trailer hitch cover. Is that something that people would be interested in? Yes, we'd love to rep merch. Kids sizes for shirts. Yeah, we can do kids sizes. We actually have that. Jessie, if you send us pictures, just so everybody knows, you get Tilson famous t-shirts if you're featured. If you or your house is featured on our social media, reach out to us because we owe you t-shirts. And we do have Tilson famous t-shirts for everybody. Let's see. Tumbler, gray black fitted hat. More votes for the doormats. Tilson tumbler. Wine tumblers. Yes, those are great.
Yeah, the little small tumblers.
Folding chairs. All right.
Oh yeah. Not a bad idea. Little league season. You come up and say, yeah.
More votes. Folding sun visors. All right. So pretty much anything, guys. It kind of sounds like.
All right. So we got some ideas.
I think we did have a question.
Koozies, but I guess maybe koozies go without saying. You're going to have a koozie.
Yeah, I think koozies are just understood.
Done deal.
All right. And then we did have Anita's asking a serious question. How long is the process usually from start to finish to build on rural property if I already have the land?
All right, Anita, total time right now, we're telling folks somewhere between 12 and probably 15 months. Now, there are some areas where we are getting them done faster than that. Total time. Now, that's total process. So that includes your design, permitting, architecture control approval, geotechnical investigation, engineering, financing, appraisal, and then actual construction. So there's pre-construction, which is kind of the development phase, getting the house laid out on the site and grade shots done and engineering done and permitting done and approvals done, design choices done, all your colors and all that. And then construction. So whereas most of the time, most of our customers are coming to us maybe from the production world, they're only aware of this side of the process, the construction phase. That's all they were a part of. They got to pick stuff, but for the most part, it was already permitted. Driveway was there. All that kind of stuff was done. So anyway, that's the total process right now. We can get more specific based on where you are. But rural property typically goes a little bit faster depending on what kind of development stuff needs to be done. If power have to be run there, water or a well, septic system. And we have tons of videos on all of those things. We'd be glad to help you out.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And then Wesley is asking, how do we get on the Tilson website? So Claire, I'm assuming you don't mean to the Tilson website because that's just tilsonhomes.com. I think, are you talking about getting like your story on our website and our videos, or your house? What are we? I'm going to assume that you mean that. And for your house to be featured on the website, we need pictures. So contact our team. You can send us a private message. Let us know that you want us to feature your house, or you want to be in a video, or whatever it is you want to do, and we will come out there.
Yeah.
All right. He signed on June 5th, waiting on final appraisal and final specs. All right. So yeah, okay. You just need to let us know, and yeah, you want to be featured. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Just send us pictures, or let my team know when the next step is happening. I'll look up and see, what's going on with your home, and we'll make sure that we catch you at one of those steps, whether it's a pre-construction meeting, or, if you're in one of our design centers, we'll just get a picture and get you featured.
Thanks for being willing, man. I mean, I know.
Yeah, thank you so much.
That do this, and that's great, and because we can talk about, we think Tilson's great. We work here, but it is very impactful for other folks who've been through the process to tell folks. So thanks for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's anybody watching. If you want to be on our website, just reach out to us and let us know, because we try to find people, but we end up cutting across shy people a lot of times. So anybody who wants to be featured, we would love to tell your story and show off your beautiful homes. Just to kind of, give everybody more information and let you guys be famous and get you a free t-shirt. So
absolutely
win-win for everybody.
Very cool. All right. So obviously, we thank you all for watching this and supporting our little family-owned company. We're grateful for you. Dawn, thanks for putting this one on. I think we'll get some good feedback. This was a good one. Tanya seems to have liked this one very much.
Yes.
That is this life was awesome.
That's it was.
Okay, so thank you all for watching. Obviously, we are all over the interwebs. We have a website, as Wes just pointed out. So there's a lot of great content on there. Dawn and her team have done a masterful job of building the website. It's open 24/7. We have new home coordinators on there you can reach out to right away. You can give them a call, shoot them an email. They'd love to chat with you about what's going on. We have our design centers that are open 7 days a week. We have model homes that are fully furnished, ready for you to walk through, make yourself at home. We have Facebook page. We have an Instagram page. We have Twitter, but I don't know why. We also have.
We don't use Twitter.
We don't tweet. We also have a YouTube channel with mountains and mountains of content. So if you want to learn more about building on your land, about design customers, Dawn and her team done an awesome job of organizing those playlists as well. So if you want to just go see customer testimonials, you can just watch customer testimonials. If you want to nerd out on all that kind of stuff, you absolutely can. So anyway, we'd love for you guys to reach out to us. And we genuinely assume to hope make you part of the Tilson family. We'll see you guys later.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.